Your Honors, I beg the indulgence of the bench, but may I ask if it is the intention of the Crown to call witnesses to prove that John Peter Zenger published these so-called libels?
We intend to do exactly that, Your Honor. We have witnesses who will prove
Your
beyond...
Honors, I will save Mr. Attorney General the trouble of going any further into the matter. I do confess for my client that he both printed and published the statements set forth in the charge.
Order in the court. Order.
Well, now, as Mr. Hamilton has confessed the printing and publishing of these libels, I think there is nothing to do further but for Your Honors to instruct the jury to return a verdict for the Crown.
Your Honors...
Mr. Hamilton...
Mr. Attorney General, you will have to prove something more than this before you make out my client to be a libeler. The words printed themselves must be libelous. That is, false, seditious, and scandalous, or else most assuredly we're not guilty.
Your Honors, I think that there is nothing plainer that the words used in the articles are scandalous and tend to sedition. If that is not libel, I may safely say there can be no such thing as a libel.
Oh, may it please the court. I observed just now that Mr. Attorney General, in defining a libel, made use of the words scandalous and seditious. But whether from design or not, I cannot say. He omitted the word false.
Well, I repeat, a libel is still a libel, notwithstanding it may be true.
Now, in this I must again differ with my honorable colleague. I point out to him that the indictment to which my client pleaded not guilty accuses him of a, now, I quote, a certain false, malicious, seditious, and scandalous libel. Now, I say to this court, the word false must have some meaning, or else how came it there? Now, to save the court's time, I will agree that everything Mr. Zenger printed about His Excellency the Governor is seditious, scandalous, and a libel, providing only that Mr. Attorney General prove them false.
Oh, I object. This is most irregular. Most irregular indeed. Your Honor, I think that...
Mr. Attorney General is reluctant to prove the word false. Then, Your Honor, we will take the task on ourselves and prove them true.
Mr. Hamilton.
Right! Right! Order in the court!
Mr. Hamilton, it is not permitted to give the truth of a libel in evidence. A libel is not to be justified, for it is nonetheless a libel that it is true.
Well, I'm sorry the court has so soon resolved upon this bit of law.
The law is clear, sir. You cannot justify a libel.
Well, you say that truth is no defense of libel, Your Honor. Well, now, I respectfully must point out the incongruity of such a position. I see a man slay another. I print that such a man is a murderer. Am I then a libeler? Now, truth is fact, and facts, I submit, are the very reverse of libel. Now, look further, Your Honor. If this be the case that truth is no defense of libel, what then should be printed in the public press? Never a word can be raised against a tyrant. What stands against a tidal flood of corruption if it is not the threat of a fearless press that will exercise the inalienable right of every man to protest? To protest!
Mr. Hamilton, after the court have declared an opinion, it is not good manners to insist upon a point in which you are overruled.
I will say no more at this time.
Use the court with good manners, sir. And you are not to be permitted to argue against the opinion of the court.
Gentlemen of the jury, it is to you we must now appeal. For witness, we are denied the liberty of proving the truth of the facts deemed libelous. Gentlemen, power may justly be compared to a great river. When it overflows its banks, it bears down all before it. It brings destruction and desolation wherever it spreads. If then this is the nature of power, let us at least do our duty, and like wise men who value freedom, use our utmost care to support liberty, the only bulwark we have against lawless power. As you see, I labor under the weight of many years. I am bowed down with great infirmities of body. Yet old and weak as I am, I should think it my duty, if required, to go to the furthest part of this land to fight persecutions that aim at depriving a people of the right of remonstrating, aye, and of complaining, too, against the arbitrary attempts of men of power, men who injure and oppress the people under their administration, provoke them to cry out and complain, then make that very complaint the foundation for new oppressions and persecutions. Now, the question before the court, and you gentlemen of the jury, is not of small nor private concern. It's not the cause of a poor printer, nor of New York alone that you are trying. No. It may, in its consequences, affect every free man in America, and I make no doubt that your upright conduct this day will entitle you to the love and esteem of all men who prefer freedom to a life of slavery. They will bless and honor you as men who have baffled an act of tyranny. By your impartial and uncorrupt verdict, you will have laid a noble foundation for securing to ourselves, to our posterity, and our opposites the right and the freedom and the liberty of exercising and opposing arbitrary power by speaking and writing the truth. The defense rests.